Well, what do you think of the signaling aspect, though? Of signaling, like,
to me,
I mean, you're definitely, there is a wave happening right now about third places.
Absolutely.
I hope it's more than a wave, because I think it's just an actual cultural antidote that is needed.
Yeah.
It's necessary. We need to learn how to be humans again.
Life in the magic rectangle was a bubble, and that bubble is burst.
Yeah.
And we're not going back.
And we might go back.
Well, if anything, it probably wouldn't be a magic rectangle. It'd be like a magic, whatever.
I mean,
sphere.
I can't say one way, but I do think for now, I think there's a generation of people that, and by generation, I don't mean like an age group. I mean, just there's a lot of people that are just like, this shit sucks.
Yeah.
I want to use my hands. Like, I don't enjoy this. This is not fun.
And my channel and what I've been doing is a perfect example of that. I'm just, the video I'm working on right now is just about, I don't want to look back on my life and have sat at a computer for 10 hours a day for 5-6 days a week.
Before we're at 56, we'll wrap. Yeah. But what are your thoughts on like the state of that trend? Like the third, like you introduced the concept to me formally. Obviously, everybody knows what it is, but you were the first one to use the buzzword for it. And then I started seeing it. This was a year and a half ago. Yeah. It's popped up more and more and more.
Yeah.
Matt's obviously in the know.
I'm trying to stay on trend here.
What do you think? Like, where do you think the state of that is right now? You think it's?
I think it's still on the rise. I mean, I think.
You think we'll start seeing like Starbucks signal? That's a big. Again, we don't know if it's even real. This might just be BS.
Yeah. That's where I'm like, if they put a big fluffy couch in, then I'll know that they're serious. But if it's still hard wooden chairs, like they want you to sit down for 25 minutes and get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
They want turnover.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them, but
like outside of that, do you think we'll see more places? Like, where do you think it'll start to infiltrate a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see growth in especially areas like in Omaha where there's not vacant like as in the whole area is dilapidated and run down, but you're going to see people like us talking about this. Wouldn't it be cool to have a shop and it's got this and this? You're going to see a lot more of that.
A ton of vibes places everywhere.
Yeah. and I think, too, there's going to be more public or, public-private partnership in public going, we want traffic in this area. Mm-hmm. We're putting, here we're getting a streetcar. Like, we want economic development to happen along that corridor. So we're going to work with you to figure out, like, how can we have public-private partnership that allows someone who can't afford $1.5 million building, like, how can we make that work? Because you two seem to be uniquely equipped to bring something amazing to this area.
It's so interesting too, because they're doing it with like
skills.
Pods, and like in Nashville, they have these pod parks that pop up.
Yeah.
And you split a storage pod in half, and like half of it's a bagel shop, and then half of it's a camera store, and then half of it's a stationery shop.
Uh-huh.
And these are all just local, run by locals. I think they call them like incubators sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's a small business. You get in, you pay. I think in Nashville it's like $3,500 a month or something, maybe even like $5,500 for like this half the size of this room.
Right.
But I mean, that's,
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have similar things in New York. And I mean, you see pop-ups in Omaha. It's not as common, but
maybe they might take signals like, Workshop and Great Plains Vintage and, Lost Items by Modern Mayhem, Jackson Street, like seeing like, okay, these places are doing really well. There's a lot of foot traffic. Tax revenue is coming in. We want to figure out how to not like in a ham-fisted, inauthentic way, create areas like that in other parts of the city, but figure out how to attract people that are longing for in-person experiences to go to these places, and they don't all need to be goddamn restaurants. It doesn't always have to be go out to eat. Like you guys went to Barnes and Noble for 3 hours. Aaron and I went to a coffee shop, and I know there's a food, quote unquote food product there.
And there's a theme here too.
Yeah.
But it's just places where you can go be exposed to new ideas.
Yeah.
Movie theaters and coffee shops and
meet people,
restaurants and galleries and
I am certainly yearning for connection. It doesn't necessarily mean like I want to find friends that I call up and we go to the movies and do this, but like I'll go to Homer's, the record shop in the Old Market, because they open at 8:00 in the morning on Saturdays, and I'll grab a coffee and check the bins. And I don't even I'm not shopping. I'm just like, I want to go to a place and just check stuff out.
That's what we do at Jackson Street. Yeah.
And I met a gentleman there named Mark. I kind of gave him a hard time. He picked a couple 80s records. I'm like, oh, you're the one buying all the 80s records, and like it started a conversation. And then an hour later, I saw him at Grapefruit. And then I told him, I'm like, you should go check out Canesville Collectibles in Council Bluffs. And then I went there later that day and he was there.
Yeah.
And now every time I see Mark, even though I'm not like, Mark, what's your phone number? Let's go hang out. Yeah. Like, I'm going to know Mark. I'm going to know him by name. He's a character in the world of the third places that I go to.
One, it just makes you care so much more about your community.
Yeah.
You care. You're so much more invested in the experiences and the...
Yeah. I mean, one of the best things in this tangent that I've been on with analog and physical media and all that is grabbing records at the estate sales led to me creating meaningful relationships with Mike and Mark at Homer's, and Dave and Simon and Kathleen at Grapefruit. And getting vintage clothing got me connected with Stefan and Trey at Workshop. And
it's so funny. Like
it's just wonderful to go to those places and have rapport and chat and whatever. And then I can go and they can go and we're good. And if I see them on Instagram, I can make, oh dude, that's awesome. Can't wait to check that out. It's just this, and it does mix with social media as well. It has this wonderful ecosystem of connection with everyone. I can see them in person if I want. I can go to an event that they're hosting. I can tell you, hey, they're having a DJ thing at their store. Like, let's go on Saturday night and check it out. It's like I was really struggling with like looking up going, I literally sit at this computer for 10 hours a day, and the most third place I have is a Discord server with all my friends that don't live around here.
Yeah.
And so it's no surprise that we love doing this podcast and our conversations, and that we've turned it into a weekly thing rather than once a month, sometimes running into each other or grabbing coffee because we just need to catch up or get connected or whatever. And I've had more emotional, spiritual, whatever fulfillment from these experiences, not only with my closest friends, but then the acquaintances. I mean, I had a conversation with someone at a third place that was very personal about something that person was going through in their personal life. And it wasn't like right out of the gate, hi, what's your name? And I'm going to spill this stuff to you. But they felt comfortable enough to talk about that stuff. And I love, talking about anything psychological.
You're
whatever.
Willing to get into it.
And this person was, and not because of me necessarily, but there was a moment where this person teared up about someone listened to them.
Yeah.
And this is not me patting myself on the back, but they just were like
things that were just commonplace. 25 years ago, 30 years ago, now seems so like, this can happen. This is nice.
This is possible.
What is?
It had been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the summer.